We have heard about this man Jesus, some of the things about him, some of the names that were given from him in the Bible, why he is so important today, and what people were expecting all those years ago. On Palm Sunday, they had expectations of him, that he would overthrow the Roman Empire. He was going to be this great leader they were expecting. But the difference that he would make back then is still a difference today. It has been right the way through history. Now, why was there so much excitement around Jesus? Well, people had heard many of the things he said. The things that Jesus taught, his teachings were very different to what anybody had heard before. This man, God's Son, was coming into the world as the great rescuer. We hear some of the phrases and things about things that Jesus taught. They might be sayings that we might think are well known, or stories that we might have heard. What were some of the teachings of Jesus? Because these were some of the reasons why there were such big crowds around him, why they were gathering to see him, to hear him. Let's have our house group over and hear some of these teachings of Jesus, some of which may be very familiar.
But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well.
Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me.
Forgive others.
Love one another.
I am the way, the truth and the life.
As well as those teachings and sayings which we might think are quite familiar, Jesus also taught with something called parables. These were little stories that Jesus would tell that would relate to God's love for us, give a demonstration of how God sees us. These stories were so people could relate to them. Let's go around the community and hear what some of these stories were called. You may know the names. You may remember some of them. But all of these were part of the teachings of Jesus, showing God's love. And would also be one of the reasons why so many people wanted to see Jesus.
The unforgiving servant.
The lost sheep.
The friend at midnight. The city on the hill.
The sower and the seed. The new cloth and old garments.
The Good Samaritan.
The lost coin.
The prodigal son. The rich ruler. The mustard seed.
The Pharisee and the tax collector.
2 sons, 10 virgins.
The persistent widow.
The talents.
The hidden treasure and the pearl.
The tenants. The weeds in the wheat.
The speck and the log.
The marriage feast.
The rich man and Lazarus.
Labouring in the vineyard.
The budding fig tree.
The barren fig tree.
A divided kingdom.
These teachings from Jesus were so different to what people had heard before, and yet so powerful, making such a difference. People were beginning to think. Some people were very taken by this teaching, others were afraid. Their positions were being threatened. But this teaching was about God's love for us. It's still so relevant for us today. You might wonder what else was going on, why crowds were drawn to Jesus, why is Jesus so significant? Tomorrow we'll think about some of the things that Jesus did, some of these things called miracles, demonstrations of God's love and God's power.